Yeah. I get excited to show things. I miss my old setup. My old setup, I had a camera up above the fridge that would kind of look down on the kitchen, and then I had a one that like was like a camera on a little arm that I would put so you could see my hands like on the cutting board. But no computers I have are working to run this stuff, so it's frustrating. But yeah, gotta do the best we can. So yeah, tonight there's our menu, and yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I think we will start with the soup, so that way it can cook nice and long and get good. So we're gonna do what's called a mirepoix to start with, which is a mix of onion, carrot, and celery. It's a base for a lot of things that are done in cooking. Plus, this way we get the onion out of the way early in the stream. Yeah, how's your weekend been? I don't remember if you've said what you do for a living, but I'm not sure if you have weekends off. If so, I hope it was relaxing and fun. Okay, gotcha. At least you get those 3 days off, that's pretty nice. It's also nice that this is essentially the start of your weekend, so that's... Don't have to deal with the bullshit for the next few days, that's always a good thing. Alright. Now I do carrot. Let's see, for these I'm gonna peel. Gonna work. Okay, yeah, no worries. Thanks for hanging out. Have fun, enjoy the games. Hope you get some chicken dinners. Good for me, actually. I need to get better at, like, kind of talking to nobody but myself, and remember to not go silent when no one's talking in chat, because I can just focus in on the food and I forget that there might be people lurking who want to know what I'm doing. So for this, we're just cutting up our mirepoix, which again is just carrots, celery, and onion. And this is the base for a lot of traditional cooking, especially like French, Italian, a lot of Mediterranean. I did get a request for the homemade toaster strudel again, which I do plan on doing. Kind of ran out of time this weekend because I had to cook at a charity event last night, and so I was kind of trying to keep today to a more mellow. So I figured a Rice Krispie treat. I haven't made one of those in a while, and I love them. And they're so easy. Yeah, just go on. And a traditional mirepoix, I believe, it's been a long time, I believe is 1 part carrot, 1 part celery, 2 parts onion. Could be wrong on that though, the exact ratio. Some people will go so far as to peel the celery too, gets rid of some of those like ribby on the outside, but since we're chopping it up pretty small, I don't feel that there's a need to do that for this. I might for, we're going to use some of the celery for the dips that we're making. So we might peel those because they're just going to be eaten raw in pretty big pieces. I think we can go ahead and start that. So yeah, you can see I've got my yellow pot set up right there. We are going to start roasting those vegetables just very lightly, almost like sweating them. And while that goes, I'm gonna start chopping the vegetables that we're gonna serve for the white bean dip. So for these, we're just going to cut the peppers into long strips that are still kind of thick, so you can really get some good dip on them. So like about like that, so you can really scoop in and get it. And then we'll do some carrots. For these, I'm going to leave the skins on. Just get those extra vitamins. We'll see if Kimbo comes to hang out. It's been really cold all of a sudden here. And she gets angry in the cold. She likes the heat. Okay, so that's going. Hey, Cuddles, thanks for coming by. I actually mentioned earlier, I've only been live for a few minutes, but I mentioned that I had gotten a request for those toaster strudels. I did a charity event last night, and so I kind of ran out of time today when trying to work on what I'd be making. So unfortunately not. I will make them the next time, so next Sunday. But in lieu of that, to have something a little bit easier, we are going to do a Rice Krispie treat that has toffee bits in it. There's the full menu that we're going to make tonight. So yeah, I really was going to. And then when I was at the market, just kind of looking around for stuff, they didn't have the puff pastry that I needed, and I didn't feel like going to another stop afterwards, so yeah, unfortunately, just kind of ran out of time. Like I said, I will make them next time. Pita chips with smoked Gouda on top? Hey, that sounds good. I think you said you're a college student. That's pretty fancy for a college student. So right now, I check on the soup. So, yeah, all out at Trader Joe's. Hey, Trader Joe's is it's a great thing to have close to you. So I like these. These are like pre-packed garlic that's already been taken out of its what's it called? Its skin. It's peeled, but it's not already chopped up. So it allows you to still control the pieces. I'm not a big fan of the garlic that's like in a jar that's already chopped up real small, because a lot of times I actually like my garlic to be a little bit thicker and chunkier. And so this allows me to kind of still control that, and it's not sitting in a bunch of brine. and that brine often makes it harder for the garlic to properly get roasted. So this is kind of like a shortcut that still has a good like product at the end. So yeah, in that pot back there, we have got the start of the pasta e fagioli, and that is the, we have mirepoix in there, which is onions and tomato, no, not tomato, carrot and celery, and then I just added some garlic to it. And to that, we are going to start adding in our beans. So I'm going to use a dark red kidney bean. Are you looking for anything in particular? Us Firefly, thank you very much for that follow. Hope you enjoy your stay and learn some cooking tricks. So I'm just running these under some cold water, kind of rinse off the brine that they were in. Oh shit! Thank you so much for that sub, Cuddles. That was very nice of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna walk these over. And then you get to see Mrs. Biscotti walk by. Would you rather have 2 things of kidney beans in there, or 1 thing of kidney beans and 1 thing of black eyed peas? Let's do black eyed peas. Yeah, we do have a kind of an interesting kitchen layout. It's basically an L shape. So on this side here that you see, there's a sink in this corner with like an area for the dishes to dry. There's a dishwasher right here, a bunch of counter space going along here with cabinetry underneath and above, and then our fridge. And then on like that half of the L is our stove with more cabinets and whatnot. You have a pretty good view of that. But I've worked in a lot of interesting kitchens, and this one is definitely interesting, but I do like the amount of counter space that we have here. So to that, I'm going to add in some black eyed peas, which is not really a traditional ingredient of this, but I really like it, and it's just kind of like gives a different shape and texture of the other beans. Haha! using that emote already, I love it. Yeah, that is a dog with a racquetball in her mouth, which she's already gotten some carrots tonight, but a racquetball is like one of her favorite things to play with. Okay, so we've got our beans in there now. To that, oh, it's a cute emote. That's awesome. To that, we're gonna add in some whole tomatoes that we're going to crush up just kind of while they're in there and use the juice that's in there also as some of the liquid that'll be going into this soup. And I'm just going to use my wooden spoon. Oh yeah, great for a pasta sauce. Some of like the best canned tomatoes to use. Home Chef, hey, that's awesome. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer. Kind of just making some random food tonight, but yeah, didn't have a lot of structure. Yeah, this is how you can learn. And still learning. Burned slather buns on steam a month ago or so. Hey, everyone's got to start somewhere, and I still make plenty of mistakes, even though I'm. Hey, come here. Here, you want to see? Let's see if we can do this without ending the stream by accident. There is a dog that is the emote getting a carrot, and off she goes. All right, we didn't accidentally end the stream this time. Good job. I'm gonna salt and pepper that. Everyone watch me cut the tops off. Yeah, no, I've definitely, like I said, I've had my plenty of fail moments as well, and I'm professionally trained and have worked in in plenty of very nice kitchens. So yeah, we've got our vegetables kind of getting prepped for the dip that we're gonna make. I'm just gonna put these in a Tupperware so they're kind of easy access for later. Oh, thank you for, look at that. You're already like a pro in here. So we're gonna do a little celery, this garlic over here. Oh, and Cuddles, I wanted to mention to you too, since I know that you're, you don't have the biggest budget for food. This is, yeah, you are a pro. This is a really inexpensive meal that I'm making, this soup. I wanted to make it because it got really cold here all of a sudden. Today it didn't even get over 45 degrees, so very cold. So I wanted something warm, and I wanted something easy. So this is an old meal, very old meal, that was done by like peasants back in the day. So it is essentially pasta and beans in a soup with some extra vegetables in it. You can finish it with some more leafy greens. Oh god, that sounds awful. At least for this time of year. Like, I like the heat during the summer, but in the winter, or I guess in the fall, yeah, I mean, it was in the 80s last week. Like, it took a pretty nasty dip very quickly. Okay, so some celery. And then last, we're going to do a cucumber. Cucumber is one of my all-time favorite vegetables. Yeah, so all that we have in there right now is we diced up an onion, some carrot, and some celery, and that's called mirepoix. So dice that up, put that in a little bit of oil, just start, it's called sweating the vegetables. You don't want to actually caramelize them, but you want them to start almost becoming a more opaque consistency, and so you can almost like see through them a little bit. And then we added in our tomatoes and the juice. And then, oh, and the beans too. It doesn't really need to be in any sort of order. I like to start with the vegetables just to get that little bit of sweat on them, because you can't do that when it's in liquid as much. Okay. Now for this, we're just going to make a couple peels on it. See? So you got kind of like sections of lighter and darker. Plus it gives you a flat base, so that way it's not like rolling all over the place. And that way, when you get an actual flat one, you get these nice pieces that kind of look all pretty. Very easy trick to making a cucumber look nice. This just goes in here too. Why not? Oh, it's okay. I can cut very quickly. But yeah. Yeah, see? You got the... Come on, camera. Focus. And let's look what they look like going around. Very easy. So yeah, that's like all of our vegetables now for the dip that we're going to make shortly. So to our soup, I'm going to start adding in some vegetable broth. Yeah, it's a very common ingredient in Mediterranean salads. And always look when you're adding your liquid in to see if it has salt added to it or not. Take that into account as you're seasoning the rest of your ingredients. Have to definitely make sure. We actually have made falafel on stream before, long time ago, but I should pull that up. I'll also send you when we did the homemade toaster strudel as well. That was a really fun stream. Actually, I don't. Now that I think about it, I don't know if we did the falafel on stream. We might have just done that as a meal. My wife and I. Okay, she's saying that she made that, so we definitely didn't do that on stream. I just remember eating it and really liking it. What was the last thing you said? Okay. Ooh, thank you for that, host. I do appreciate it, sir. Let's see, so while that goes, we're just gonna let that kind of simmer now for a while. Just kind of let all those flavors come together. And then towards the end, we add in our bag of pasta and let the pasta cook right in the soup so it absorbs all those flavors. So yeah, next up we're gonna do the bean dip, I think. Yes, let's do the bean dip. So for that, we're going to use our food processor, which is on this side. Let's see. Can I turn this so you can see? There. That's a little better. Here, you want another carrot? There you go. Now, you don't have... Yeah, finger chopper. Well, I mean, honestly, these are very safe because your hands aren't in there, and the only way to turn it on, at least for this one, is to have it completely closed, and you can't put your hand in there to get it completely closed, and it won't turn on otherwise. So it's, I mean, relatively safe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does have, like, the grater attachment to it, so you can grate a bunch of stuff. So for that, we are going to do our garlic goes right on in. It's about 2 cloves. We're going to use a white bean for this. Just kind of great northern white beans. But you could also use chickpeas. I mean, this is kind of similar to a hummus, but it doesn't have tahini in it. And we're going to sub out and use, like, you could use cannellini beans. You could use a lot of different beans. Again, just trying to keep it a little bit more inexpensive and user-friendly. I'm trying to do that more with my cooking on stream, knowing most people in here are not, you know, professionals. They want to get some extra knowledge, but not be scared off. Oh shit, Young Wave Lord with the host. Thank you, sir. I'm not sure if you're in here, but if you are, a very happy and whatnot Sunday to you. I hope you're having a kick-ass day off. I also like that you haven't streamed in something like, you know, over 24 hours and you still bring viewers in with you because people just love your channel that much. Hey! My day was good. I was telling chat, like, fall hit out of the middle of fucking nowhere today. It just kind of kicked our ass. So yeah. Went to a music festival today? Oh, that's awesome. Well, and you said that it's still warm out there. And both of you should follow each other. Mr. Young Wave Lord is an awesome streamer, and Cuddles kind of randomly hosted me last weekend, or rated me, and I checked out his stream, and he is a very fun fellow as well. Who all was at this music festival? What kind of music was it? Let's see, so we got our beans. We're gonna do, the parsley goes on top. A 1/4 cup of water. Okay. Exactly. Friendship across the board. You see I've got my Decal shirt on. I assume you know from Wu-Tang, Mr. Method Man. He's the man who got me into hip-hop in the first place back in the mid-90s. Keep getting distracted. Need a little bit of oil in there. About a 1/4 tablespoon salt, pepper, and cayenne. be careful because a couple weeks ago I made something for Mrs. Biscotti and it was way too spicy, and then I had to eat the whole thing. Hip hop to jazz to death metal. Hey, that's awesome. I like shows that have kind of that wide variety. Just kind of allows you to appreciate all kinds of music. Some salt, some pepper. And that's it. Like, how freaking simple is that? Right? Be careful when, like, getting all the product off. That's where you can cut yourself. Just gonna put this into a little Tupperware. These little like silicone spatulas are really good for this kind of stuff. I'm gonna put a little bit more broth in there because remember when we add the pasta, it's gonna soak up all the liquid that's in, not all of it, but we want enough liquid that it is still a soup and doesn't become like overly thickened. Dog is very interested in what's going on. So there, you can see our bean dip. Nice and smooth. We have those vegetables to kind of throw on top. Or not throw on top, to dip with. I'm gonna add some fresh parsley to it, just right on the top. Now some people don't like to use the stems. I like to use pretty much the whole product. I feel like parsley stems have a nice flavor to them. A lot of people say parsley is very plain, but I like the Italian flat leaf pasta or parsley. It has kind of a nice peppery flavor to it, in my opinion. But yeah, parsley is, I feel like, a very underappreciated herb. Hi. You want some bean dip? Okay. The vegetables are chopped up in the fridge in a Tupperware. What's that? Okay, that's fine. Yes. Oh, there, yeah, you could see her for a second. You can see how cold it is here. She's all bundled up in her robe and... Yeah, pita chips are definitely very good with that as well. We're gonna keep it a little bit healthier. I mean, just a little bit healthier with some, what's it called? Some fresh vegetables. So I'm gonna roast off this little poblano pepper. so hot. So oh yeah, that's quite warm. And then we've got a little serrano pepper. Again, I have to be kind of careful with this. I don't want to make it too spicy. And a way to help remove some of the heat from this is we're gonna roast it and peel the skin off of it. And to do that, you can do it like in the oven, under a broiler. I'm just gonna do it right on the range back there and let the fire basically like kiss it, and it'll kind of blacken the skin. Then what we do is we wrap it up either in a plastic bag or in saran wrap and let it steam for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and that will start to create the skin will start to lift off of the actual meat of the pepper, and then we'll de-seed it, chop it up, and that'll help remove a lot of the heat from it, but still leave a lot of that peppery flavor that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna do that to both of these. Yeah. And see, look, he says hello.
Hello.
Yes. So I'm not sure if you can hear it all the way over there, but it's popping. And I forget that Kimbo really does not like this. You may hear her bark at them at some point soon.
Probably will hear her bark at them.
Yes. She gets very angry at the popping of the peppers.
This Tupperware?
Yeah. So it's got cucumber, green bell pepper, carrot, celery. There's just a lot of green, so you might not notice like in between things. I'm surprised she's not barking yet. That's good. So the next thing we're gonna make is we are going to work on the dirty salsa. The reason I'm calling it a dirty salsa is we're going to use these Kumatu tomatoes. They're kind of like the brownish tomato. It's an heirloom style grape tomato. I love the flavor of these. They're actually a little bit sweeter. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Applies to this as well. So I've just got like a nice little bin of these. I was going to use the blender, but I might wash to like not have so many pots and pans of dirtiness. I think I'm just going to wash. Our food processor. Now, if you wanted to make this, have I ever tried? Oh yeah, I've used blackcurrant. That was a very common ingredient for me to use when I was in the baking program of my culinary school. We did like blackcurrant scones. It was in quite a few baked goods in like the traditional French pastry and baking area. Okay, see on this guy how it's getting nice and blackened? That's what we're looking for. And they'll hop around on you a little bit, but yeah, be careful. People use it all the time in England. Yeah, no, it's definitely not as common over here. Yeah. I mean, you might find them, again, in more like bakeries more than savory type restaurants. Oh, actually, I do remember too. I did a like a blackcurrant sauce for a duck that I made one time. That was really good. It's like one of the few times I've used it in something savory. And get creative with the peppers. You have to kind of like lean them around things to kind of get them to work best way possible sometimes. We're just looking to char that entire surface. So we're just gonna put our, I think they're illegal to grow in the US or something because they're invasive. Oh, I have not heard that, but I do know that there's a lot of regulation against things that are overly invasive. Maybe it's restricted to certain areas too, that could be, and then that drives up the cost and then makes me not want to use them. But yeah, it's not something super common. I see it like as a soda flavor sometimes and things like that, but so yeah, there's a little serrano pepper, all nice and blackened, fire roasted. Just gonna put that guy right into a little Ziploc. Come on. And you can see already it's starting to get all steamy in there, and that's what we're looking for. Now it's just gonna sit. Oh, see, here she is. Now she's barking. She hears the popping even more. Hi, we're almost done with the popping. Yeah, I know it's popping. All right. And then we got our fire roasted poblano as well. Just drop him in here. Again, you could totally use saran wrap. That's usually what I would use, but I hate our saran wrap. Oh, what up, D-Rack? How are you, sir? So yeah, again, all nice and steamy up in there. Yeah. So we'll let these hang out for maybe like 10 minutes or so, and that'll help that blackened skin separate from the meat of the pepper. Yeah. Toffee Rice Krispie is gonna go super hard. So we're gonna work on our salsa as well. So yeah, I know it's all done. Yeah, D-Rack, I don't think you were in here. She likes to bark at the popping of the pepper. So yeah, you know, smart dog things. We're gonna throw some green onions in there. kind of a rough chop because, again, it's going to get blended essentially. Oh, I was saying earlier, you could make this more, you could focus and do some other chops on this and make it more of a pico de gallo style. But I want it to be kind of like a ground up salsa. How's the bean dip? Good. It's not too spicy? Good. So yeah, we've already got Mrs. Biscotti eating the bean dip. Let's see. Tomato, green onion, poblano serrano, and limes. That's right. So we're going to do some limes in there to provide a little extra juicy juice. I love limes in my salsa as well. I love that acidity. You could even do some of the zest of the lime as well if you wanted to. But I think for tonight we're just going to use the juice of 2 limes. I'm actually not even sure if we need both limes. But again, I love limes, so they're going in. Yeah, pretty much chili, lime, anything, I'll just go to town on. All right, those need a couple more minutes. We're gonna go ahead and add our pasta into our soup. I'm going to do a little fennel seed in here as well. A little bit of red pepper flake. No, we'll do some dried oregano too. So that's coming along nicely. Red pepper flakes on deck all the time. I put that shit in everything. Buying a steak at Trader Joe's, going all out, but cooking steak scares me because but the sizzle's the best part. You need that sizzle. That's that fat rendering out and gets that nice caramelization. Oh, yeah. Steak is so good. Let's see. So next up, I think it's been about 10 minutes or so. Close enough, you know? So I'm gonna use a paper towel to help kind of like coax the skin off. You could also use rubber gloves. And, just be mindful, it's still gonna be pretty hot. But if you remember what it looked like, it was all nice and blackened. We're essentially pulling off all of that black from it. Or at least most of it. It's good actually to have a little bit of it on there still because it provides some char. But now we just have this nice pepper and there's like a lot of that char that comes off. Kimbo's getting feisty. So she's been kind of cooped up today because of the weather. And that blanket apparently smells like another dog too. So yeah, she's not going to be happy about that. And then I used my knife to peel off just a little bit more of that, the skin. So we open this guy up. I have to cut it down the middle, open it up, take out all the seeds. This really doesn't have a lot of spice to it. The reason I roasted this is I want that smoky flavor with it. The seeds themselves don't really have any heat to them in a poblano. Maybe a tiny bit, but I don't want them just because of the, what's it called? The texture. I don't want them going into the salsa. I'm just going to do kind of a rough chop on this because it's, again, going to go into the food processor. Oh yeah, we gotta rub off that char, baby. Yeah, man, I have faith in you. I mean, you just gotta try things when you cook and know that if you mess up, it's okay. Yeah, try not to burn it to all hell, but if it overcooks a little bit, just take it as a learning experience. Like, I understand it's rough sometimes to spend money on food and then it doesn't come out perfectly the way you want, but it's the only way you're going to get better is trying. So now we're going to do the same with that Serrano. So this definitely has more heat. So we are going to be careful to remove the seeds out of this one. Because even though the seeds are smaller, so we could kind of sneak them in, I don't want them to create all that extra heat that Mrs. Biscotti. And I'm trying to be a little bit more vigilant to get off as much of the skin as possible in this. So yeah, you can see now instead of black, it's kind of like a darker green. And then I just use my knife to scrape out the seeds and those ribs on the inside. So then you're really just left with the meat of the pepper. Oh, it smells so good. Give that a quick chop, and this goes in. We're gonna do a little salt and pepper with it. Now, I recommend when we're working with this soup... Oh, hold on, Mike. Oh, I meant to tell you, I went to a super Chinese place with your dad this week. Papaya salad with filet mignon. Ooh, yeah. Papaya is really good with meats because it has that real natural sweetness to it. Papaya is really good with pork as well. I would recommend it with that. Back on 1 second. So, I was gonna say too, you saw me taste the pasta. It's still a little underdone. Now, I want it to be a little bit on the underside because it's not like pasta that you would make in a big thing of water and then you dump it and strain it. It's gonna sit in this liquid and the liquid's gonna stay hot for a while. So if you basically make the pasta to when it's like perfectly done and then it sits in that hot liquid for another, 20 minutes before it really starts to cool off, it's going to become very overcooked and gummy at that point. So you want it to be a little undercooked when you turn the heat off. Okay, so now we get a little container for that guy. That should be good. So there is our dirty salsa. Pasta's done, but I want to add quite a bit of parsley to it. But this I'm going to leave a little bit rougher chopped. I'm not going to go crazy into over chopping it. I want it to be, again, this is a very rustic soup. So I'm gonna bring you with me over here. Oh shit, D-Rec with the 3 months. Thank you so much. Since I'm walking, we might as well get a shot of the Kimby. Yeah, it's a dog. Why you look so weird? Okay. Thank you so much, friend. I really do appreciate that. You guys have been super nice. Okay, so here is our pasta e fagioli. Pasta and black-eyed peas and red kidney beans with the mirepoix and the parsley to finish and the crushed tomatoes. Just a really hearty, awesome goodness. guess we'll just do this actually with it. Okay. Yeah, since it is cold here, like, I'm really excited to do this. It's gonna be so good. So, and then last but not least is our Rice Krispie treat, which Cuddles, I actually did think of you as I was trying to think of the alternative that I would make. I was like, since I'm not going to do... D-Rick, I think you were here. Were you for the homemade toaster strudel a while back? Where they came out and they were like the size of my head. And I got very excited over them. I can't remember if you were or not. Yeah, okay. So, Cuddles, we were talking about making those again. He was asking, or he was talking about a meal that he had recently was a toaster strudel. And I said, oh, one time on my stream I made toaster strudels. And then we got into that. And I was going to make them tonight, but I just kind of ran out of time with the day. And this market didn't have everything I needed. So we're going to do a Rice Krispie treat, which, Mr. Cuddles, I'm curious, knowing that you are not from the States, I'm not sure if this is something that is... I mean, I'm sure you've been exposed to it a little bit, but the one I'm going to make is going to be extra special because it is going to have bits of toffee in it. It's basically like a Heath bar. So we're going to get ourselves a nice big pot. Yeah. Yeah, and I figured toffee was a nice English ingredient for you, and it's one of my favorite. Another one that I do with this is I do a mint chocolate chip one. That's probably my other favorite. Rotate this up so you're not like... I guess that's as good as it's going to get for right now. Let's see. So... She being stupid? In goes our butter to start with. I usually do these with coconut oil instead. Keep it that like tiny bit healthier, but we're out, so butter it is for tonight. So I do these a lot in that Cooking for Cannabis class that I teach. It is a very prominent thing that I do because everyone, you know, again, most Americans are very familiar with I guess this will work. With a Rice Krispie treat, and it's just super easy to incorporate cannabis into it. So I'm just letting this butter melt down. I know why I've got my phone upside down. That's why the camera's so low. Let's see what happens when we do this. There we go. That'll be better, I think. No, maybe not. Whatever. That's just how it's gonna be. And now we're just melting these down into kind of like a white, frothy goo almost. You know, just like marshmallow paste, essentially. I do too. I love marshmallows. They're so good. Kimbo is like all up in my junk right now. Just totally in my way because she smells the butter. Okay, I need to grab my Rice Krispies while I'm thinking of it because I forgot earlier. Cool, so those are nice and melted down. At this point is when we add in our toppings, which, so for tonight, hey, what up, Jay? Oh, all good, homie. I hope you're having an awesome night, awesome weekend, although I think you're on like a long, long weekend. So mix in our toffee and our milk chocolate. Let that get all nice and incorporated. So again, this is the stage I would suggest mixing that in, is with the marshmallows before you add in the Rice Krispies. Now also, if you're making this for somebody who is has celiac disease, gluten intolerant, gluten-free, like actual Rice Krispies, the Kellogg's brand, are made with rice. Some of the other fake ones do have some flour in them, so just beware. I just know how much to use based on how much is left in the package, but you want to use about, I forget if it's 5 or 6 cups. I just know it offhand from doing it so many times. Oh, here, it's actually on the box. 6 cups. 6 cups. And now we just mix all this together. And just try and get those marshmallows to kind of bind everything. Half the bag? Yeah, use a little over half the bag for just like the regular box size. And because this does not have cannabis in it, it does not need to be mixed all perfectly to get even dosing. We just want to get it as incorporated as we can. That's pretty good, I think. Get it turned over to make sure it's not all clumpy on the bottom. I think we're good. Oh, last toaster strudel for breakfast. That is a good breakfast. So now we're just gonna take one of these like square 9x9 pans, or I guess 8x8, sorry, and I'm gonna use just like a non-stick spray on it. And then we just turn this guy out into it. Okay. Now this is crazy sticky stuff, so a couple recommendations. When you're gonna work with your hands to kind of flatten it all out, put a little bit of nonstick spray right on your hand, and then also when you're gonna go to cut it, I would spray a little bit of the nonstick spray right on the knife. It'll just help your life because this stuff is crazy sticky. Oil change on your car and got, ooh, yeah, that's no good. This is pretty hot, but my hands are kind of asbestos at this point. Like, I can handle really hot things just from being a chef for so long. But so you could just use your spatula for this as well. I'm just trying to get it kind of like crammed in all over the place. If you wanted to eat this sooner rather than later, you could actually put it in the freezer just for a minute or two. That'll help it solidify. I'm just gonna let it hang out, and then I'm gonna cut it up and eat it. So yeah, here's what it looks like. Nice Heath bar thingy. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands right quick. Very fine. You can leave that out actually. I'm gonna show everybody.
Oh wait, do what?
The vegetables, the hummus, the salsa, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Just so there's, I can show the final outcome of everything. Jay is like the manliest man on Twitch, so yeah, if you have any questions like that kind of stuff, ask him. All right, so to recap, we have got our pasta e fagioli. We have got our Rice Krispie treat that has the Heath bar in it. We have got our vegetables, our dirty salsa, and the white bean dip. And we've got Dog. I think she's in frame probably. Yeah. And there's Dog. Yeah, that's it for the Rice Krispies. That's why I wanted to do them tonight. I knew they're so fast. They don't need to cook or anything. They just get the job done real fast and have good food to make. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you very much for that sub, Cuddles. I really do appreciate you doing that, especially since I don't stream all that much, but I'm glad that you've enjoyed the cooking and the learning and all that stuff. So we will be back, if I can during the week I will, but at least next Sunday we'll be able to do another stream, and I will try and do the the toaster strudel for you, because that was a lot of fun last time. Got a good reaction both out of myself and out of chat, and they were really good. Yeah, exactly. Melting the marshmallow is the longest part. It's a super easy thing, and they taste really good. And you can really add anything to them. You can do like dried fruit, nuts, any kind of chocolate candy bar stuff. So I like the mint chocolate chip ones. Those are kind of my go-to as my backup. So yeah. You're gonna make some this week, the Rice Krispie treats. Super easy. All you need is like, you know, kind of like a bigger style pot. You don't even need one quite this big, but it's just good for when you're like mixing everything together. It's 3 tablespoons of either oil or butter. You melt that. A whole bag of the small marshmallows, because they melt a little faster. Just kind of mix that around until it is all nice and gooey, like a marshmallow fluff. Add in any kind of toppings that you would want. Like I said, you know, the candy bar style stuff, the nuts, the dried fruit, whatever. Add in your Rice Krispies, just over like half a box, or like I said, the recipe calls for 5 to 6 cups. Mix it all together, put it in one of those like square pans, but put some nonstick spray in there first. Put some on your hands and kind of mash it all up. And then I would put a little nonstick spray right on the knife when you go to cut it, because otherwise it will get pretty sticky with the knife, but towards the end. So yeah, thanks again. I hope everyone had fun. I always do. We will see you next weekend at the latest. And wiping butter on at work? Yes. Yes, it will. I would suggest getting some spray if you can. You can get it at any grocery store. I mean, this is just Pam coconut oil spray. Yeah, little water, like warm water. I always like, you know, when cutting cakes and things, I'll dip that in. But yeah, cool. Well, have an awesome rest of your nights, and I hope everyone has a really great week, and I will talk to you guys soon.